Hey guys, it's Mr. Chester. I hope you're all doing good in online learning land. Hope you are all staying healthy, safe, scrubbing those hands. This is a frustrating time for all of us. I know you've all been working hard all year, semester long to pass the safety tests, learn the tools, and boom, coronavirus happens. So today I'm going to try and take a little bit of shop to your house. So what we're going to do is we're going to teach you how to lay out a wall. What's laying out a wall? Laying out a wall is when we space our studs equally along the length of our top and bottom plates. Our top and bottom plates, remember, are horizontal pieces that connect our vertical pieces, which are our studs. We do that because it gives the wall a equal, uniform strength. It ensures that our floor joists, our studs, and our rafters all line up when we build them. It keeps the wall. It ensures the wall is at its strongest point. And it makes sure it gives you a clear path for when we have to run wires. As you can see, our rafters and our studs line up. You can see the wires passing through. If we had to run our plumbing friends, electrical friends, HVAC friends, if they have to run ductwork or anything through walls or into an attic, it ensures they have a clear pathway to do so. Also, we talk about sheet goods, sheetrock, plywood. It makes sure those pieces, that material that comes in 16-inch increments, make sure that when you install it, it breaks on a stud. So that's just a few of the reasons why we do layout. I'm going to start by showing you where our layout numbers are. We do have a few different layouts: 12 inches on center, 16 inches on center, 19.2 inches on center, 24 inches on center. 16 inch on center is the most common one that we're going to be using. So today that's what I'm going to show you how to do. So we're going to start, as you can see, 16 inches. There's a red square around it. 32 inches, red square. 48, the red square. As you can see, we're getting a pattern here. So every 16 inches, you're going to have a mark with a red square. That's where your 16-inch layout's going to be. So on center. So everyone's like, what's on center mean? So when you lay out the wall, I've seen a lot of people, they do this. They hook the end of their plate. Let's tip on down here for you. They hook the end of their plate and they'll just mark 16 inches and think that's where the stud's gonna go. That's wrong. So what you gotta do, that 16-inch mark is supposed to land smack dab in the middle of your stud, not on the edge. So what you're supposed to do is, we're going to deduct 3/4 of an inch from that 16 inches. Why, you might ask? Because remember, how thick's our stud? That's right, it's 1.5 inches thick. So 1/2 inch is what? That's right, 3/4 of an inch. So because of that, we're deducting 3/4, and we get, what's that? 15 1/4. That's right. So I'm going to mark my 15 1/4. That's our first mark. So now I'm going to take my framing square. So we have a skinny end and a fatter end. The skinny end is 1.5 inches thick, just like our 2x4. So I can hold that to the right of my line, and I'm going to mark a mark on the right side of the square. And I'm going to put an X there, because the X is going to indicate where our stud's going to go. Alright, so I can repeat that. So I'm going to get my 32 inches on center, I would mark 31 1/4 and put an X to the right. To get my 48, I would mark 47 1/4, and mark my X to the right. Same thing at 64. To get that, I'd mark my 63 1/4, deducting my 3/4 each time, and put my X to the right. Then I would take my square, hold it to the right of it, and mark both sides. Again, indicating where my stud's gonna go. So also when we lay out a wall, you're always going to have a stud on your end. So you don't have to lay that out. You know where that's going to land. Just mark your 1.5 inches. There you go. So we said there's a few different ways. Another way that we can do it, I'm going to flip my plate over, and I'm going to mark my 15 1/4 again. Why do we do that? We're testing you now. That's right, because we deduct 3/4 because that's 1/2 inches. Good job. I knew you were listening. And we're going to put an X there. Every time you make a mark for layout, you're going to put an X. I'm laying out from the left, so I'm going to put an X to the right. That's where I want my stud. So that way you don't get confused, or if you're laying out a wall and someone's putting it together, you don't have to get, worry about them putting the stud on the wrong side of the line. If you put an X there, that's where the stud's going. So I got my 15 1/4. I'm going to take my frame and square. Yep, you remembered what it is. I'm going to mark it. Same thing, both sides. There's my line. So what I can do now, rather than have to deduct 3/4 inch each time, is take my my tape measure, hold it on my 15 1/4 line, and measure every 16 inches. So I'm going to mark 16 inches, then put an X on the right side of the line. I'm going to measure 32, put an X on the right side of the line. I'm going to measure 48, X on the right side of the line. You get where I'm going with this. So now I'm going to take my frame and square again and mark it right side of the line. I'm going to hold it on the right side of the line and mark both sides of the square. This is going to indicate again where my studs are going. Perfect. So then we're going to put a stud right on the end, mark our 1.5 inches right there. Boom. So now we want to lay out, this is our bottom plate. We want to lay out our top plate. All you're going to do is just line these up and just transfer the marks over. No need to lay out a top and bottom plate twice. You can do one and just copy the other on to the piece beside it. So I hope everyone's doing awesome. I hope you enjoyed this. Make sure you guys are doing your Google Classroom work. Make sure, I know some of you, make sure you're writing P for present in our online attendance sheet, and you're completing the work. Don't just write P for present, think you're good for the day. Do both. Present, do the work, submit it. Thanks guys. Stay healthy and safe. I'll see you next time.